I've been working at Pitch Your Ideas Incorporated for roughly 8 entire years now. I've given money to a lot of solid inventions and business ideas, but I've also given money to a lot of horrible inventions and business ideas. But this one in particular, it takes the cake, and it runs with it. He ran away with my cake. Hi, my name is Jason, and I've always aspired to be a restaurant owner. But the restaurant industry is very cutthroat. Literally, don't turn your back on Burger King. So tell me, what makes your restaurant different from the rest? I based it off this novel. 2 Parties, 1 Tux, and a very short film about the grapes of wrath by Steve Goldman.
Oh boy.
In the novel, the main protagonist, Mitchell Wells, is living his everyday high school life. He only has one close friend, being David, and his grade point average is as average as a grade point average can get. Everything is okie dokie, hunky-dory until his English teacher assigns an essay about the grapes of wrath. Mitchell does not want to read the grapes of wrath because it is an incredibly boring novel. So he makes a short claymation film roughly based off of the grapes of wrath, and he turns that in instead. Now, the claymation film originally intended for his film class hit all of the criteria of what you shouldn't submit to a teacher. Blood, guts, gore, nudity, religious blasphemy? A parent complains, and now Mitchell is a big heap of trouble with the school's CEO. Yes, the school has a CEO. That's one very weird and confusing plot point I still haven't wrapped my head around. And the English teacher, he gave the film a standing ovation. Apparently it was a work of art. But I bet if I made a short film that had blood, guts, gore, nudity, and religious blasphemy, my English teacher would give me a standing ovation. She'd flip a lid. His best friend David comes out as gay to him and only him, which makes the relationship a little bit confusing. Mitchell's sister, who by the way has made out with half of the boys in the school, hooks up Mitchell with a prom date. David gets hooked up with a prom date as well because nobody knows he's gay. And then suddenly out of nowhere, the most popular and prettiest girl in school wants to take Mitchell Wells out to the prom. And Mitchell is 10 times more awkward than watching 50 Shades of Grey with your parents. Mitchell's English teacher, which is the one who played the controversial film in class, mysteriously just goes missing, and Mitchell's first prom date warns him about his second prom date, the pretty popular girl, saying how she was just using him to get back at her ex Ryan. Her fault for dating a guy named Ryan. Prom finally rolls around, and to nobody's surprise, the popular girl ditches Mitchell for Ryan. Curse you, Ryan! David and Mitchell get into a little bit of a kerfuffle regarding their feelings. Turns out David had the hots for Mitchell the entire time. Mitchell then pees his pants. And I'm not talking like a little itty bitty tinkle, no siree. I'm talking full out empty bladder into your trousers. And you see, that is a big issue because he's wearing a white suit to the prom. It is now a yellow suit. Gross. Once he manages to escape prom, he meets up with David's ex-prom date to go find David. They go to David's house, and it turns out Mitchell and David's ex-prom date were secretly in love the entire time. They are then found later partially naked in David's bed by David's parents. That was awkward. David and Mitchell become friends again after Mitchell finds David at Mitchell's house. They get pancakes together and laugh about the entire situation, and everyone lives happily ever after. What does this have to do with your pitch for a restaurant? Well, you see, everything. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I have them hooked. It says here you have prototypes for what your restaurant would be like? Yes, I did. May you present those, please? Okay, well, let's start with the menu items. Now, we all have to admit to playing with our food every now and again, yes? How about mashed potatoes that you can make a claymation film with? You can use the gravy to represent the blooded gore that was used in Mitchell's claymation film. One of Mitchell's biggest plot points is trying to figure out his relationship with David after he comes out as gay. I have represented this plot point with a rainbow grilled cheese sandwich. Every good restaurant has French fries. If you don't have French fries, I wouldn't even classify you as a restaurant. Just an accident. My restaurant has French shies to represent Mitchell's shy and socially awkward behavior. Now, the novel tends to feel like a roller coaster ride. So for the soups and salads, I'd like to introduce you to the Whoopsie Soupsie and the tossed salad. Before you order these items, you need to sign a waiver. Then, and only then, will these waiters and waitresses throw the items at you like a baseball player. Nobody wants to fill out an entire waiver just to order soup. We also have a special soup called the Mr. Curtis. Just like Curtis, the English teacher that went missing, the soup is missing too. You're telling me that your restaurant sells an empty bowl? Yep. You know, I can't name a single other restaurant that will sell you an empty bowl of soup. So I'm like pretty sure the demand is pretty high. Then we have the prom rib steak. We also have the heart attack. It's a burger in the shape of a heart. Just like in every teen high school story, the story revolves around love and crushes and relationships in some way or another. We also named it the heart attack because of its immensely high cholesterol level. For desserts, we have a cake called Whoops, I Was Found Sleeping with My Best Friend's Prom Date. To represent that time Mitchell was found sleeping with his best friend's prom date. We also have pancakes that we douse in gasoline and light on fire to symbolize David and Mitchell's reignited friendship. They put their differences aside at a Denny's. That is a real plot point. Denny's exists in this universe. We also have the Curtis cake. Mr. Curtis, the aforementioned disappearing English teacher, went missing because his mother was in the hospital dying. So, we bake a cake that's in the shape of a hospital. I thought a cake shaped like a coffin would be in poor taste. And finally, we have beverages. We have Sprite, apple juice, and Duff beer from The Simpsons. It says here that you have already hired all the employees. Yes, I employed the characters of the novel. How do you employ fictional characters? It's like making Harry Potter my unpaid intern. Hey Potter, go fetch me some coffee. Wingardium Leviosa. Thank you, Potter. Since Mitchell Wells is the main protagonist in the novel, it would make sense to make him the general manager, yes? Wrong! Mitchell is a shy mess. The only problem in this novel that was caused by him was when he decided to submit a claymation film for his English assignment. So I employed him as a dishwasher. It's about as equally as important as a general manager in a restaurant, just a bit in the background where you just kind of like put him in a box and forget about him. You know who would be a great general manager though? David. David is the one who drives people around. He had a huge helping hand in creating this controversial short film. David keeps the cogs turning at a normal pace that cogs are supposed to turn. He is the main man who keeps the plot kicking. I would now like to summarize a review left by a customer. Oh, I'm sorry. You have a review for a restaurant that doesn't even exist yet. Food Lover 76 wrote, "The food tastes amazing. However, when you order the soups and salads, they make you sign a waiver so they can throw it at you like Babe Ruth at a Yankees game. I entered the restaurant with my friend Anthony, and Anthony left the restaurant in an ambulance with a concussion. He said it was totally worth it, but I don't see the appeal of having a salad tossed directly at my face. The latter does have a remarkable arm, managed to nail Anthony right between the eyes with the soup, and while Anthony was already falling to the ground, he hit him again with the salad, directly in the same spot as he hit him with the soup. I'm at a complete loss of words here. Just get out of here." What? You heard me. Get out of here. That was the most absurd pitch I have ever heard in my 8 years of working at Pitcher Ideas Incorporated. But you gotta hear me out here. This is gonna make a ton of money. Take your horrible ideas and get out of here. Now, hold on. Did I hear it would make tons of money? Yes, sir. I did say that. Excellent. So, don't forget to check out my restaurant. 2 chairs, 1 table, and a very, very appetizing meal. Now a subsidiary of Amazon. Born in 1964, something, Barbador. Jeffrey Bezos. Jeffrey Bezos. David get hit.
Gorilla mode!